So we're going to start in our main for this project, explaining how it's going to go. So we're going to start creating our objects. There's the kill promise and kill feature, which we'll use to shut down all of the threads using that shared um, promise that, or excuse me, feature that they will all use. There's the kill thread, file thread, coordinator thread, and playback thread. As well as the file coordinator shared object, the circular data objects coord enqueue and playback enqueue. We'll explain how those come into play. But first, we'll show this. The flow, you launch all four of them, and then you do the key press event, which is no, those circular data kill thread are basically just a circular queue uh, with a pushback and pop front commands, and a is full command or is empty command. Basically, it's your standard circular queue, and then we also their queue of commands. The command is has a pure virtual execute function, which the wave fill command fulfills. Basically, either if it's requesting a fill, then the wave buffer thread that is with it will be have the static coordinator thread fill called on it, or it will be called to start if it's in play mode. So then we have the kill thread. The kill thread is what is being used to notify all the other threads that it's time to die. So that key press event is called in the main thread, and it's waiting for you to hit any key. So right there, wait for, it's using that lock on the key press to wait for that. The key press event has been called in main. Getch is just waiting for a key to be hit, and then it will notify that mutex, and it will move forward. Then the promise, the kill promise, will set its value, which will notify all the other threads who are constantly checking for that kill in their loop. Next, we have the file thread, and the basic thing that this is doing is it's going to be checking constantly if the status of the file coordinator share object is empty, and if it is, it's going to be filling the buffer with the next wave file. So it's going to continually go through 0 through 22 of the wave file. So there's wave.1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And it's going to send that to fill buffer. That's going to open the file, seek to the end, tell how long it is, go back to the beginning, and it's going to fill that buffer from that file into our coordinator's buffer. Or excuse me, into its own buffer, which will be drained by the coordinator's buffer. So the next one that we will look at is, excuse me, sorry, he's just showing the kill. Alright, so the next one we're going to be looking at is the coordinator thread. The coordinator thread is going to be continuously draining that buffer from the file, as well as filling commands that are sent into the coordinator queue. So it's also going to be checked if file tells it that it's done, which just means that it's hit the 23rd and final file. So it starts out, it's in not ready mode. When it goes through the loop, it checks which mode it is and acts accordingly. So right now we're not ready. It's going to check if the buffer is ready. If it is, put it in transfer the buffer into coordinator's buffer A, and change to transfer A mode. When we're in transfer A mode, it's going to check if it's ready. If file is filled filled its buffer once more with another wave file. If it is, it will fill the B buffer this time, and it will be continuously popping 2K chunks off by having that command executed, and then using that static, and then setting fill status, and then once it has reached the end of that buffer, it will then reset, do all the housekeeping, change it to transfer B mode, which means our B buffer is full and needs to be emptied, and our A buffer needs to be filled. The next thread that we're going to be looking at that we'll be running is the playback thread. So it will be using state pattern as well. The kill thread hasn't signified it, keep doing this loop. So during start operator, it will basically check, has every single wave buffer been filled, and it won't start playing until it has been. Then once it has filled all of them, it'll change the mode to playing mode, and it'll go to playing operator. The playing operator will check if each wave buffer is full, empty, waiting, done, and act accordingly, and it will also be emptying commands off of that playback queue. Now, once it's gone through every single one, it'll do the done operator, which is basically the same as play operator, except for it's just finishing the last few commands. And then you can see here that our playback thread, when it's created in its constructor, it spawns off all 20 of those waves. And those waves aren't doing anything on their loops, but they do have a buffer that is used to get the 2K chunks to send and start, transfer the wave out, and then wave out right, it'll send that 2K chunk. And then those are just for housekeeping, checking the statuses.
I apologize for having to record this way. My screen capture is not recording any of the sound. I don't know what else to do. And this crap happens still. Come on. So yeah, it plays self-completion. There's a buffering issue between the A and B buffer. I'm not really sure. Still have not been able to track down exactly what's going on with that. It plays everything in order, it plays a completion, but it's still got that buffering issue, and I can't figure it out.